All right, Shalom. First off, I'm going to start off by saying all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. It's all praises who the world calls God of Jesus Christ. The true names in the Hebrew is Yahweh for the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai for his beloved Son. Um, those are only names by which you can call on to get salvation. You have to have that name proper and right. It tells you in the book of Psalms what is his name and what is his son's name, if thou can tell. It says for under heaven there is no other name by which we all must be saved. So learning those names is pivotal to your salvation. But also want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect. I'm the brother Tazabah in the Great Millstone, Arizona camp. Lord will with another video to edify. And I wanted to go into this sentiment that's sweeping across the world of really what it is Edomites tearing down these statues of these their wicked forefathers, So this one says yet another Columbus statue vandalized as Boston protesters behead monument. This is a statue of Christopher Columbus, which he was a damn murderer. There's contemporary accounts that you can find that said that when he was on the scene rolling through the New World, which is America, he was slaughtering those Native Americans and Latinos at such a gruesome rate that it was said that he couldn't let go of his sword for about the space of 1 hour. So his muscles cramped around that sword's helm because he was there so long killing people with it. It says a statue of Christopher Columbus, whose real name is Cristobal Colon, which he was a so-called Jew, in Boston, has been beheaded, the second such act of vandalism this week amid protests over the death of George Floyd and police brutality in the U.S. And really, man, this isn't helping this situation at all, because all you're doing is burying Esau's history. You're burying the tokens of this man's handiwork in the earth. You're supposed to lead that up, man, because these things are gonna be witnessed against them. It says the statue of Christopher Columbus Park was taped off Salakia as a crime scene on Wednesday morning. The head was found near the statue after the damage was reported to police. Boston PD said they're investigating. And not only this, they're turning down statues of Edomite slave traders in Europe and all that. This is a global sentiment around the world, man. Because I'm going to get that first. I'm going to get this real quick. Wisdom of Solomon. I'll start at 1 and I'll jump down. Wisdom of Solomon 2:1. It says, for the ungodly said, reasoning within themselves, but not aright, our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. So this is the entire ungodly. This whole chapter is going into the ungodly's thought process. And you read in the book of Hebrews, it says, least there be any profane person such as Esau. So that ungodly person is talking about is the nation of Edom. So this is Wisdom of Solomon 2:8. Let us crown ourselves with roseblood. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Let none of us go without his part in our voluptuousness. It says, let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place. For this is our portion, and our lot is this. So that's what these statues are. It's a token of their joyfulness in our places, man. That's what these statues are, and this is his thing, man. This is how the devil gets down. He puts these statues up to let you know that he was here and he conquered. You know. And this is what you're seeing now. And if you go into these videos, these protests, and all this, and you look real close, man, every single time they're pulling down these statues is a crowd of Edomites that are the ones that are really right there stripping all this down, which that is strictly out the scriptures. I think it's Sirach 41. That's scripture, strictly out the scriptures. Yeah, this is Sirach 41 and 6. You know what? I'll start at 5. It says, the children of sinners are abominable children, and they that are conversant in the dwelling of the ungodly. You know? And this so-called white man, he's chief among sins. It says, verse 6, the inheritance of sinners' children shall perish for their posterity, and I'll get that word for posterity. You know, this is the word for posterity in the Edom Online. It says posterity, from Latin future, future time, after generation, offspring. The condition of coming after, subsequent, post after. So let's get it in a regular. Let's try to get this in the regular dictionary, right? Go ahead and download it. So it's prosperity, all future generations of people, the descendants of a person. So let's go back to the second, Sirach 41 and 6. It says, the inheritance of sinners' children shall perish. So did not the so-called white man pass down riches and wealth to his children in this country? And now it's perishing because what? All these Edomites are getting outed. A lot of places are getting a finger pointed at them. And most importantly, the Lord is going to be the one that causes that inheritance to perish, man. This stolen land. It says, in the prosperity, so the future generations shall have a perpetual reproach. And that's what we're seeing, man. These Edomites are faced with the fact that their forefathers in them have benefited from the suffering of the Israelites, man, the Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and now their children, it says verse 7, their children will complain of an ungodly father, because they shall be reproached for his sake. And that's what's happening. That's why they're pulling down these statues, man. You know, they're going about to seek to please the poor, which is the Israelites. And they're tired of seeing the things that remind them that everything they got was by rape, robbery, and murder. And it's a blot to their existence in this world. It says verse 8, woe be unto you ungodly men, which have forsaken the law of the Most High. For if ye increase, it shall be to your destruction. And that's what we're seeing, man. These Edomites have increased upon the earth, and it's being to their destruction. It says, and if ye be born, ye shall be born to a curse. It says, the scriptures tell you, upon Idumea, the people of my curse, to judgment. It says, and if ye be born, ye shall be born to a curse, and if ye die, a curse shall be your portion. All that are on the earth shall turn to the earth again, so the ungodly shall go from a curse to destruction. You know, so that's going to be your perpetual lot, especially coming here in the future, the near future. You know, there's not going to be one Edomite that goes about his life living good and lavish when the Lord comes back. You know, so just as I was saying with the protests, right? When you go to those protests, there's a bunch of Edomite women. This is Proverbs 27:13. It says, "This is the portion of a wicked man with the Most High, and the heritage of oppressors." You know, aren't these Edomites are oppressors? Aren't they being called an oppressive country right now throughout the globe? Which they shall receive of the Almighty. If his children be multiplied, we just read that in the book of Sirach. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep. And that's what we're seeing, man. The widows, which is going into these women of Esau, Edom, man, they're not shedding a tear for them. You know, they're in the same protests and the same rallies, cheering for these Edomite figures to go down, man. Because they see that this guy is the devil on earth. They see that he's causing a lot of upheaval when these women just want to go out and party, especially Esau's women. And here it is, you got lockdowns happening, Jake rising up. These Edomite women have to be on edge when they were just cool with having DeAndre come around them whenever they wanted because it was filling on them. But now they can't they can no longer do that because there's this racial divide. It says, "Though he heap up silver as the dust and prepare raiment as the clay, he may prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver." And that's going into the Israelites, man. So these Edomites, they're storing up all this wealth and hoarding all this wealth, but at the end of the day, the Lord is going to give it to Israel to have those possessions, man. He builded his house as a moth and as a booth that the keeper maketh. The rich man shall lie down, but he shall not be gathered. He openeth his eyes, and he is not. Terrors take hold on him as water. As water, a tempest stealeth him away in the night. And these terrors are really taking hold of Esau, Edom, man, because these Edomites, man, they're seeing the fact that Jake really don't give two shits anymore, man. They're tired of it, and they seeing how strong Jake is, man. And Jake's been filled with anger. He's been filled with the anger of the Lord, like the scriptures say. So he's hot and ready, man. This is Habakkuk 2, and I'll start at 12. I ended on this. It says, "Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establisheth a city by iniquity." I'll get one more after this. It says, "Behold, is it not of Yahweh of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for very vanity? For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of Yahweh as the waters cover the sea." And the earth's already done that, man. Israel is everywhere now. It says, "Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and makest him drunk, that thou mightest look on their nakedness." Verse 16, "Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee." And this is, so Israel's drinking of that cup, which was that judgment, slavery, having everything taken from you. So the cup of the Lord's right hand, that righteous judgment, is going to be turned unto Edom. "And shameful spewing shall be on thy glory." And that's what we're seeing. Everybody's sitting there calling out every little inch of Esau's wickedness throughout history, and even now. So much so that people are really making a preposterous claim that they want to disband the whole police forces and divert divert funding into social programs. That's never gonna happen, man. That's never gonna happen. And even if they do that, man, they'll just move in these UN troops, police, to keep the law in the order, man. I'll get this last one and close it out. This is Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 11. It says, therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation. So the idols of the Gentiles, that's going into these statues too, man, because a lot of Edomites will sit here and praise these statues and stand in awe of all these Edomite statues across the world, like these were great men. And now you're seeing a visitation of them, because it is because, you know what? Let me get that word for Wisdom of Solomon 14. That's apocrypha. It says, because in the creature of Yahweh, in the creature of the Most High, they are become an abomination and stumbling blocks to the souls of men, and a snare to the feet of the unwise. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them, the corruption of life. And that's going into these false idols, which is going into these false gods and religions. Hey, but this visitation is obviously starting upon Esau's occulted statues, man. But I want to just put my 2 cents on that, man. And then, Lord willing, this is edifying. I say, Call Allah, Yah Bashim Shai, Bashim Kadash, Shalom.